All right, this is Dr. MC hour. We won a golf tournament this weekend. Let's see if we can bat one out of the park again against the medical industry. Because I think towards this end of this week, they're having a autism thing at the Colonnade down there. I think that's where it is. And let's look at autism from a guy from the hospital bed's perspective that studied his ass off. And this is part of one of the systems of the body. Okay? Remember, this is one of the systems of the body. And you've got 12 systems of the body. You know, circular, skeletal, and all that. Well, this is the nervous system right here. And if we Google part of the brain affected by autism, the cerebellum, which is right here, this is your second brain. Right here's the cerebellum. Okay? But autism actually hits your parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and frontal lobe, which is around in here, which has to do with memory and language and all this other stuff. And it affects, it'll say in here, this is the neuron right here. This is an image of the neuron, and this is an image of the spinal cord. Okay, and here's gray matter. Okay, you have pia matter. I think it says it right here. So we have potassium phosphate is what pretty much rules the brain. Most of y'all are like, what the hell is he talking about? Well, you're designed to do what? Eat shit food your whole life, never hardly drink water, and if you do, it has no alkaline in it whatsoever. Sit there, watch TV every night, eat pills, and repeat. And what that does is it destroys the brain. Okay, this right here is everything. This is a computer. Okay, and what we upload to the computer, it's a receiver. Okay, and when they transmit signals through TV, you know, through radio and all that stuff, it goes into our ears. But our brain is actually affected by what we consume. Because what we consume, since they never talk about how shitty what we eat is, it's horrible. It's horrible. And our blood is magnetic. It's electromagnetic is what it is. It has a code. And when the blood's deficient from consuming substances that we're not supposed to be consuming, especially the shit meat that we eat, everything we consume is horrible. Then it corrupts the blood. And the blood, the potassium phosphate, the oil, the secretion, it's the secret up here, and they don't want you to know that. This is what makes, just the same way the gas makes the vehicle run is the same way the potassium phosphate, caliphos, is what makes the brain function. Okay? And when you eradicate mineral salts, which are these right here, this is your 12 cell salts. You're made of cells. Batteries have cells. Okay? And if the cells in the battery are running low, then the car's not going to run good because it's a vessel, it's a vehicle. You're a vessel in a vehicle. So if the battery is not running on caliphos, and it's been running on for 40 years, Mountain Dews, moon pies, one chocolate bar a night, and just watching TV every night, you're going to have Alzheimer's. You're going to have Parkinson's and other stuff because your brain from day one has never, ever, ever had the proper amount of material to make it run like it's supposed to run. But it says the cerebellum is one of the key brain regions affected by autism. Alzheimer's. What part of the brain affects by Alzheimer's?
According to National Institute on Aging, at first, Alzheimer's disease typically destroys neurons and their connections in parts of the brain involved in memory, including the entorhinal cortex and hippocampus.
It later affects areas in the cerebral cortex, responsible for language, reasoning, social behavior. You know, but once again, when you come out when we come out, we don't even know that there's 12 systems of the body. Okay? And then there's 12 mineral / cell salts that coincide with the 12 systems of the body. And a lot of y'all don't know what I'm saying about when I say that. Okay? The nervous system is one system of the body. Okay? So, what we have is this. These are all different systems of the body. Skeletal. Shit. It's upside down. But you get the gist of it. Okay? Lymphatic system, circulatory system. We've got all these systems that we don't know about. Okay? Let me get this back over here real fast. You're never taught this. You go through 12 grades of school. We've got 12 disciples. There's 12 constellations. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. So when we go over here, and what we're going to do is because the brain, the cerebrum, and then the cerebellum, okay? But we're just going to talk about this. From top to bottom, okay, you're going to have 12 cell salts, okay? The caliphos forms the gray brain matter and the nerve fluid. The caliphos that we consume, we're supposed to, you know, whether through this, natural, this is God. It fuels the brain in order to think, for your language to be good, for you to remember shit. Everything the symptoms of Alzheimer's implies is a deficiency of just this. That's it. But see, when you stay deficient, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And then they're going to keep pumping them full of pills, and the pills never do anything whatsoever. None. None whatsoever. It's like calcium phos, the bone builder. It's the cement to build bone tissue. You know, calcium phosphate. And children don't even know that. That's why children now are 17, 18, and their arms are this fucking big, because they've been deficient. They're all 12 systems of their body, of all 12 mineral cell salts, their whole life. And then now they're frail, they're weak. You know, they're all this other stuff. But let's go over here, because we're going to tie in a lot of other stuff. And it says, let us now consider another science, that particular branch of physiology which is termed embryology. Here we at once find a perfect allocation with nature's work in the spring. The cerebrospinal system is the first part of the organism developed, and from it the whole form materializes. The cerebrum and cord constitute most truly the tree of life, for they bear or produce the rest of the body. The cerebrospinal system has, as ancient sacred writings inform us, its roots in heaven and its branches in the earth. This is earth when we're looking at this, because it's our anatomy as well. You've just got Disney brains, like stories, which is real, but this is real too. And you need to listen, okay? Because when we go, and it says the brain or cerebrum is the first and most important gland in the body. The essence it creates flows through all the glands, but each gland consecutively differentiates its fluid. It is of a neuter or neutral nature when first formed, and would continue to be so if mankind did not take from it or rob it. Okay? What they're saying is when we rob ourselves, it's through self-righteous living, which is this: TV, pills, fast foods, you know, energy drinks, everything, society as a whole, period. It makes us rob ourselves because, see, before anything develops, it's the cerebrospinal system up here, and then it starts branching out. Okay? Now, let's see. What verse is out of the throne of God, the 12 manner of fruits? In the midst of, this is Revelations 22:2. It says, in the midst of the street of it, on either side of the river. That's the river. That's the Jordan River as well. Right here. Right there. And on either side of the river was the tree of life, the cerebrospinal system, which bare 12 manner of fruits, which is your mineral salts, and yielded her fruit every month, and the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. What would you think the nations would be? Your organs. It'd be your organs in here. These are your members too. Because you are the church. This is the church. This is the temple of God. This is the Most High. This is the mountain where the dew is, Caliphas. And it talks about each month and yielded her fruit every month. See, we're not moving. Now I'm going to really blow your mind. Your pituitary and pineal. When we don't live in righteous living and have sex all the time and spill our seed like it says in the Bible and the dead bodies were laying everywhere, that's your semen through righteous selfishness. And pastors don't tell you about this because they're all false prophets. And see, the more that we consume the magnetism, what we're made of, the more the blood in you that's magnetic each month, like it says, it's going to go up and light the whole house, like it says in the Bible. The Egyptian pyramid, every chamber in the head is a chamber in the pyramid, because this is they built the pyramid to make sure nobody would forget, because that's our people. But now everybody has, no man, aliens did that. It's like, no, that's not real. Look, if they were building pyramids like that shit that long ago, look at where we are. We're back to square one. We live in shit that's not going to last, because your house, this is the house. It's the Most High. And the dew, like I was saying. Okay? The mountain dew that you drink kills the dew in the mountain. Everything you consume destroys the Caliphas and gives you the autism and Alzheimer's and children and everything else and Parkinson's and all that. Because see, this is the house. Satan, man, if you will, evil, whatever your take is, looked at this, because this is a temple, and we are. This is the house, Most High, and he created houses, physical houses, because in your brain you have a cloister. And within this cloister, there's a secretion, which it's the oil or the mineral salt, the blood, the potassium phosphate that makes you run. And that cloister is that precious fluid that is a secret. It's like the sacral plexus. It's sacred because it's pumping. The same way the oil rigs are set up everywhere is the same way it pumps inside of us. And they pump out of earth because it's Satan. And these 5 bones, I think, right, medical people, they're fused, they're pumping that shit. And the sacral right here, you've got a thick oil. And the solar plexus, which is also a manger, when you're 12, this seed develops in you, which is Jesus, literally, that you don't know anything about. And this thick oil and thin oil comes up. In the same way, you've got the Ida and Pingala. The pineal, or the Ida is the pituitary and the Pingala is the pineal gland. Those are your 2 terminals. Pretend this is a battery under your hood. Those 2 terminals, positive and negative, male and female. The pineal runs all the way down to the solar plexus, the pituitary, sympathetic nervous system and all that runs down to the solar plexus. And it fucking creates, like an explosion that we don't know anything about, because we're running. This is a vehicle. You're a vessel, and we're running on everything from the earth. No, Matt, not anymore. What we consume is just shit. And what that does is the same way you get an oil change in a car is the same way Satan, man, evil, has changed the oil within us. These are the headlights. The cerebrum is the motor. The cerebellum is the transmission. You've got transmission fluid and motor, or transmission oil, fluid, and then motor oil. Thick and thin under your hood. Thick and thin in you. And when we are deficient, because see, your 12 dorsal vertebrae right here, that's your 12 disc disciples as well. God loves you. Disc disciples, because that's the 12 disc. And these are your nations and members, all inside of you, all working together. Neurons, but see, this is an electrical charge that has been changed, because the same way this cord goes up, the spinal cord is the same way it crosses in the neck, the medulla oblongata. When it crosses over, they cross to create more, I guess more power that's inside of you. You know, because if we are running deficient, okay, if we're running deficient, then it's going to be easier for us to be controlled, because our spine, which we have 12 disciples in here, and we have them in us, around us, systems of the body, mineral salts, that's all of God. That's us. But you only just have 12 disciples, and that's it. We have this, all this, stay healthy, get natural, and all that. You have doctors, murderers, sexists, rapists, and everything else. Disney, it's stupid. It's stupid. Because you are a battery, and you've been disconnected. You know, but all this plays a huge role with each other. Everything that we consume does. You know, because the pia matter, the gray matter has been changed out like an oil change. You know, and even the modem in a computer, I don't know anything about computers, but just look at the computer and you'll have the cerebrum, the cerebellum, the motor, the transmission, you'll have the heavy hitter, because your ego goes up to your cerebellum. You never ascend it to the judge, which is the most high, which is, you're an image of God. So you're God inside your subconscious. But now TV has changed you in 1,700 years, like I've been telling people. I told a guy, I said, you unlocked something that's fucking like probably 2,000 years old. Because other people are woke, but it's like, fuck. We all have our different levels of wokeness. You know, but it's there's a bunch of us waking up, but they're allowing us to do that because they're going to destroy everything. They're going to shut it all down eventually. When you don't know your body, look, you just got to load up with this and you'll get rid of it. You'll get rid of it. You can't get sick. You can't get sick. Go on with your fake medical, fucking fake everything. Go on. Don't even open your mouth to me. I'm on fire. This makes complete sense. It should. So you should go down here to your local herb shop and get cell salts, a formulation of the 12 tissue salts. And I would do this. Go online and find Cali Foss. You're going to have to go to probably some Wicca websites. Yeah, and it's all right. You order from Amazon. That's Satan. That's bigger Satan than any Wicca website. And you want to get Cali Foss. You want to get that right there, that mineral salt, and load up on that shit, everybody. That's potassium phosphate, but get the natural kind. And get the one that's going to say Aries on it, because Aries rules that. Aries rules your brain, the cerebrum. Taurus rules the cerebellum. Gemini goes all the way down. You don't know, though. You got Disney. You got sports, which is one more thing. Oh, I'll do another video shortly on this. But anyways, but this is real shit. And this is why you get sick, because you don't know yourself. And you're in a lie. The whole medical industry is a lie. Cancers, all that can be eradicated. All of it. Every bit of it. But all the technology you have in your houses, all y'all with money, you're going to be sicker than anybody. It's going to be realer to you because you just fucking think Jesus is, man, I got twin, yeah, look at me. Yeah, you're going to have cancers and all kinds of shit. It's disgusting because you're going to die and it's going to be horrible. You don't have to keep living in fear. It's not real. I gave you some hard shit. The whole Bible is your anatomy. In the beginning of Genesis, I think it's Mount Peniel. That's pineal. And then you've got pineal gland. I think, yeah. So Mount Peniel, however it's spelled in Genesis, is the pineal gland, which is you. And the pineal's connected to the sun, and the pituitary is connected to the moon. You run off of that shit the same way your vehicle's terminals runs off of that positive and negative. You've got positive and negative in you. You ain't moving, bitches. It's flat. Love you.